So with phase diagrams, there's a lot of different versions that we see. The one that we typically get taught initially in science classes in elementary school is just a single element or compound phase diagram. So typically we see water, but you can also have it with metals. Like this is what it looks like for iron. And with these phase diagrams, you probably notice, okay, we've got one phase, and then we also use both temperature and pressure, and those are what goes along those X and Y axes. But when we get to the binary, which we see a lot in material science, which looks like this or that, those all have just like temperature. We don't look at pressure typically, or we set them all up to be 1 atmosphere. And then you have the temperature going along the y-axis, and then that variation in concentration along the x-axis, with one end being pure copper, for example, and the other end being pure nickel as the other. And so you have that variation in the atomic weight. And it doesn't have to be from like 0 to 100. It can also be only like 0 to 6.73%, like you'll see with iron and carbon. In the case of the copper and nickel, this would be a solid solution phase diagram, but there are other binary phase diagrams that we can have. We can have one that is called a eutectic phase diagram. In this case, it could be something like lead and tin, which looks like this. I'll go into a much longer discussion about a eutectic phase diagram later on, but we can also have phase diagrams that have intermediary metals, so copper, zinc, and also personally I think it kind of looks like a giraffe, is one that has these intermediary metals in it. So you can have those liquids and then solid, and then it transforms into another solid, and that is also seen oftentimes in things like steel. And then also the other version that we'll get a lot of times are intermetallics, and that can be seen in this case with magnesium and lead. You see that like vertical line? That's an intermetallic. So it doesn't mean that you can have these kind of variations. It is just one given composition. In this case, it's magnesium to lead. This also is actually seen kind of in that steel phase diagram, where after you hit cementite, which is a metallic compound, we don't go past that really when teaching phase diagrams, at least.